Hi, my name is Matthew Gomez. I'm a journalism student at Columbia College.
My name is Joey Catasano. I'm a sophomore film major at Columbia College, Chicago.
Benjamin Aguilar. I'm a Carmelite priest. I'm also an educator at a high school.
And sound has been in the works for nearly 5 years.
I originally got together with a few other students and said I'd like to put the message out there of what bullying can do to society, to communities, to an individual.
We decided that it was a good idea to write a story about the sorts of things that kids have to hear at school and how those things play an integral part in who they become later on in life.
We wrote together this stage play.
I thought it was a good project from the start. A play about bullying. Bullying is an issue in schools across the country.
Bullying is such a destructive force in the lives of so many individuals. It has lasting effects.
It can scar people for the rest of their lives.
This play has always been the background of my life. I've been playing the role since I was a sophomore in high school, and I play the role of Andy. He's a troubled boy who transfers to a new school, and there he becomes the victim of several bullying attacks. He then recruits 3 social outcasts who then plot to take revenge.
It's not a revenge story, though. We're putting into visual form a possible outcome of what happens when kids are bullied to such extremes.
I believe in this project in particular because of how the stage play was received. The audiences that saw the stage play were very complimentary.
It's putting it right in your face. You know, you hear it on TV, you see it on TV, stop bullying. You see the suicide alerts about bullying, but it doesn't hit home until it's right there in front of you and you watch it play out.
I have a little sister. I mean, the social media that happens right now is just absolutely insane. And it's become this like social norm to where it's okay to be like picking on people because it's, you know, behind a screen or you know, behind writing or something like that. And I feel like this is happening every single day in every high school.
I feel like if people see, you know, the different types of bullying there is, they can put themselves in the shoes and say, well, I've been through that. And, you know, it's just realistic to see what's going on in the world, so.
Because it's a norm for people now for them to have a higher status. They talk about people. For them to feel better about themselves, people talk about people. Some people just do it just to put a person down.
I have done to people, and I look back and I think how much of a wrong thing it was, but I have been bullied before. So either way, I could see both point of views.
And to portray it through the eyes of the teenagers who are involved was the best way, I think, to accomplish the task of trying to put bullying in perspective.
I think sound is a good title because it ultimately just stands for communication. Whether you're deaf or you're not, there's still ways to communicate with people and with, you know, there's still ways to interact with people.
I watched it evolve from a homegrown school play to a traveling show. And even when we got home, it didn't feel like it was over. It felt like it was just beginning.
I thought maybe we need to put the message out there at a larger scale. Maybe more people need to see this, to experience sound at its raw level. So I thought the best way to do it was to put it in film.
If the movie's showing how a bully becomes a bully, then I feel like it will really affect other people's lives to see how it all started and why it's becoming the way it is.
It's one thing showing the life of a bully and what he or she does to a victim. It's also another thing showing how someone becomes a bully. And these people come from families. These people come from a context. They come from an environment that helps create them to become the people, become the bullies that they are. So we came up with a story that kind of took into account all of that.
And I think we're finally ready to tell it in its truest form. What if you could just get back at one person? Who would it be? Now imagine a radio blaring, and all you hear from it is hate. What does hate sound like? It sounds like Wes, Ashley,
Why don't you just kill yourself already?
Mike,
Try to hit me.
and Grant.
What's going on?
Maybe it's time they get what they deserve. Maybe it's time we did something about it. We need to do something drastic, something they never expect. We need to teach them what it feels like to be us. And when we're finished with them, I don't think anyone will ever bother us ever again.
You sound miserable! You're not listening.
None of them will be killed, I promise. But what do you do when you've heard enough of the hate? When you can't tune it out anymore? You turn it off. Making a feature-length film as a student is an enormous undertaking, and we could use all the financial help we can get.
Because there's so many people trying to do this exact same thing that we are, that in terms of starting their own film, and there are people out there willing to give us a chance. We're not a big budget company, we don't have that. We're a group of people that want to put an independent film together, and there are other people that understand what that takes.
My dream is to tell stories, great stories, and I believe sound is one of those great stories. And through others' generosity, hopefully we can make that dream come true.
There's so much that goes into making a movie that I wasn't even aware of. From needing the proper equipment to make the film look good, make it look right, rather than looking like a home movie. So we need help with that to help us put the movie out there. It needs to be distributed, it needs to be marketed. That right there also needs some money. And you know, the other two gentlemen that are working with me on this are students. And so their monies right now are tied up in their education. They're also working, you know, part-time jobs just to make ends meet. I'm a religious priest, so I don't have the money to do this. I belong to a community, and unfortunately, we don't have money like this just to invest in a project at this scale. So I thought, after hearing what was presented to us, this was the best way that we could at least try to get some funds to help make this dream a reality.